Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review we are looking at the NECA Terminator 2 Judgment Day T-1000 Ultimate figure. Now this guy is a really good figure at a really good price point, comes with a bunch of stuff. I have two gripes about it, but otherwise it's really nice. One of the gripes is that it's mostly the same as the Genesis T-1000 figure, which they're just guys in cop suits, so I understand that. It's not a big deal, it's just something to note. Luckily, the paint job is different, so they don't really stand out as being the same, and then the chest piece and heads are obviously different. And this one has different accessories, so that it's going to definitely differentiate it, so no big deal there. You'll see in the photos at the end what they look like up against each other, so it's not a big deal, it's just something to note. The other gripe I have with this guy is that the one head is almost impossible to interchange without a hairdryer. That might just be mine, so not a big deal at all. But this guy has a load of detail in him. The paint job is really well done. It's nice and clean where it is. It's not the most coverage I've ever seen on a figure, but it doesn't need it. It looks exactly the way it should, so that's a good thing. I really like the sculpt work on the interchangeable heads. We have the different hands and things, and I'm going to show you those up close in detail. But you can see it's a very nice looking figure, and it looks great up against the Ultimate T-800, which I'll show you in the photos at the end. So let's get this guy off the stand and take a look at him up close. Okay, so for a height measurement, he stands almost exactly 7 inches, which is what he's supposed to be, so that's good. That makes him just about 17.5 centimeters. As you could tell probably from the turntable segment, he's got the interchangeable chests, just like the Genesis T-800. It is a different chest, so that's a good thing. No problems there. You can see he does have the little splatter, splotchy things on there, so that looks really nice. The detail paintwork, like I said, very well done on the badge, on the name tag, and then the face. I love the way they did that sculpt. It looks just like it did in the movie, and they did a good job painting it, so I'm very pleased with that. As far as the other head, we have the standard one, and you can swap these heads also. They're not connected permanently to the chests, so that's alright. I would probably personally go with this one because it's a much better likeness to Robert Patrick. Well, obviously, because Robert Patrick doesn't have a hole in his head. But I really like this one a lot. I think it's a very nice likeness, and like I said, the paint job is really good. So that's cool. And then if you really want it, we have this one where he's got the split head. It's very well done. Little tiny gripe is the way they had to do it in 2 parts, which is fine, but it's very goitery around here. Not a big deal because it's supposed to be all messed up anyway, but it is something worth noting. Still, I love the way they sculpted the waves inside, and the paintwork is just very clean, and you can see the shading on the face. It looks just like it did in the movie. I just watched the movie recently, and I'm very pleased with how this figure looks. Other accessories include his pointy fingers. Now these are very soft plastic because they're very thin and they didn't want them to be easily broken. So they will have some warpage in the package, so just hit them with a hairdryer, run them under hot water, and they'll be fine. You can see the paintwork is very nice. They did a great job of shading from the flesh tone to the metallic paint. Unfortunately, the Marvel Legends Absorbing Man couldn't get that right. This one did though. The shading is so smooth, so flawlessly done. I'm very pleased with that. This side we have the claw hands from when he jumped to grab onto the car or when he opened the elevator door. Very well done also. The shading is fairly smooth. It's a little bit speckly, but not too bad. It might even be just because of the dark color. I'm not sure about that 100%. But it definitely doesn't. It's not jarring or anything like that. And we do get the articulation in the elbow that you would want. So these are very well done. They're not nearly as soft as the other one. So you're not going to have to worry about warpage on there. And then lastly, we have his gun hand, and there's a gun, which I already put in his holster, so it's like a standard Beretta style pistol. Nicely detailed, but not much to talk about, so that's good. Now, as far as interchanging the torsos, it works just like the Genesis T-800. You just kind of grab on the head and pull forward. Mine was a little bit misshapen, I think just from the packaging, so it took a little force to get that in. But I'm pretty sure if you hit it with a hairdryer, it should go right in. I don't think there'll be an issue because the Genesis one had no issue at all, so I don't think this one will either. This body, on the other hand, pegs right in. And as you can see, I was really worried, like I said in the Genesis review, about that interchangeable chest, but they did a great job with it. Once you push it on all the way, it looks just like a regular seam from any other action figure, so very pleased with that. Articulation for the heads include a ball peg, but you get good range. It looks very natural. I don't think you need much more than that. You can't look up and down incredibly far, but it's definitely sufficient, so I'm okay with that. The shoulders, they go about horizontal. They're pretty limited. That's about it right there. You get the full swivel. Elbow hinge gives you a little bit better than 90 degrees, so that's really good. You get your bicep swivel right there. The wrists are your standard ball peg, so not the best range of motion, but enough. Obviously no ab crunch, but you do get your waist twist. This is a soft piece of plastic on top of the kind of skeleton, so the hips are on a standard ball hinge, and they go pretty far forward, pretty far out to the side. You're not going to be putting them in these poses anyways, but just so you know, we have our thigh swivel built in. We have a single jointed knee. Doesn't quite go 45, but you do get a swivel out of it also. And then the ankles are on a ball peg, and they have decent range of motion. It's not the most in the world, but it's definitely sufficient. So you won't have any trouble getting him into the poses you need to get him in, especially if you're just going to put him in one of those kind of menacing looking poses, which they nailed the head sculpt. That's exactly the way he looked in almost the entire movie. That kind of furrowed brow. Very, very pleased with that. Very cool. I like this figure a lot. I definitely recommend it. If you're a Terminator fan, you have to get it. If you got the T-800 figure, you have to get this. And if you're watching this review, you have to get it because I just said so. No, you don't have to do that. But at least consider it because it's a really nice figure. So I definitely suggest you check it out. It should be in stock still at Big Bad Toy Store. I don't think they've sold out yet. So check the link in the description below if you want one. And like I said, I definitely recommend it. It's a very cool figure. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.